What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, bringing you guys another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to burst plus, or realize, burst weapons. Now, I do understand that this feature is currently only available on the JP version of Dissidia Opera Omnia. However, Global Opera Omnia will eventually get this feature in the future, so for those of you that only play Global, you can reference this when this feature does release in Global Opera Omnia. But before we talk about that, if you guys are brand new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you guys are not missing out on future uploads. And if you guys enjoy what you see on this channel, be sure to hit that like button and share this video, as it does help me out. As always, do not forget to check out all of the fantastic resources out there for Dissidia Opera Omnia. The links will be down below in the video description as well as the pinned comments. And last but certainly not least, be sure to check out all of the rest of the fantastic content creators for this game. Those of you that create videos, stream it, make all those wonderful guides, spreadsheets, and infographics just to make the experience for this game that much better. And I do want to give a special thanks and shout outs to Rem from Dissidia DB, because some of the graphical assets that I am going to be using for this video came directly from him, so thank you so much to Rem. Alright guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Burst Plus. So first of all, what is Burst Plus? Well, simply put, they are upgrades to the burst weapons, similar to EX weapons, granting massive upgrades to the finish burst, along with higher stat increases for the weapon itself, and also higher CP granted for that character. Now, with the introduction of Burst Plus, we're going to be seeing some brand new materials. The first one is going to be Miraculous Book of Destruction, which is obtainable by crafting 20 miraculous pages. And then there's also going to be Miraculous Ingots Destruction, which is obtainable by crafting 20 Miraculous Nuggets Destruction, or by using a Miraculous Book Destruction on a burst weapon with an available Burst Plus. Now, some important FYI on these materials. So the Miraculous Book Destructions, or the pages rather, are only obtainable twice per month by completing the Lufenia Plus stage in conjunction with a new Burst Plus weapons debut. So for example, when Zidane, who is a brand new burst weapon that is going to be coming out when Burst Plus weapon debuts, when that weapon debuts, the Pandemonium Divine stage is going to be coming out, and the Lufenia Plus stage for that will be granting 20 pages. However, the next Lufenia Plus that also features Zidane's weapon will not be giving you those pages. So you want to keep that in mind, that the pages for the books are only obtainable twice per month. Now, the Miraculous Books of Destruction can be bought with 400 G tokens. However, this is a very expensive, resource-wise cost. So I only really suggest doing that if you're going to be chasing a burst weapon on a banner, you plan on pitying it, and then you do pull that burst weapon within or close to the 400 G token mark. So for example, let's say you're going after Zidane's burst weapon, right? And let's say you get it within 360 or 380 G tokens. If you want to, because you are very close to that 400 G token mark, then maybe it might be a good idea to gun for that burst book. But remember, it's still a very expensive choice if you want to be gunning for the Miraculous books in this fashion. Now, Miraculous Nuggets Destruction are going to be obtainable by completing a Lufenia Plus stage, and these are given to you in batches of 5. This is not restricted to twice per month, which is a pretty good thing. So under normal circumstances, if you take this all into account, you can earn 2 Miraculous Book Destructions and 20 Miraculous Nuggets per month. Now, what does the Burst Plus actually do for the burst weapon? So right when you use the Miraculous Book Destruction on the burst weapon, at 0 out of 3, it's going to drastically improve the damage output of the finish burst with a much higher Brave Potency and a much higher HP damage output. 1 out of 3 Limit Break is going to add 1 additional turn in the burst phase, which is going to give you more abilities to be able to deal more damage to the enemy. 2 out of 3 will further improve that burst effect aura that is activated after you use the finish burst. And then finally, 3 out of 3 is going to unlock the burst ability. Now, what is a burst ability? So pretty much the burst ability is allowing you to use the finish burst immediately once you press that button, and you are going to be using the upgraded version of that finish burst, and also activating activate that upgraded burst aura. And unlike finished bursts in the actual burst phase, the burst abilities are not restricted to one character per battle. So, for example, let's say you're using Garland's burst, right? You use his finished burst. Remember that's only you can only restrict that to one character. So after Garland uses his burst in your party, unless it's co-op, that's the only burst that you can use. However, burst abilities do not follow that restriction. So what this means is that you can have up to 3 burst effects active in a single player game. However, keep in mind that the same burst effects will still not stack. So for example, let's say your Zidane with his BT plus uses his burst ability, and then you bring in a friend Zidane unit and then have that Zidane unit use his burst plus. The 2 burst effects are still not going to stack. So you want to keep that in mind if you want to have, 3 burst auras active at the same time. So some key things to remember: not all burst weapons will have access to burst plus right away. These are released in pairs, generally with a new burst weapon being featured along with a returning burst weapon, both of will have access to the burst plus feature. So for example, Zidane is going to be one of the first burst weapons to get burst plus, and when his weapon is going to be released, Ishtola's burst weapon will be refeatured and her burst weapon will have access to burst plus. Now if you decide to pull on these banners, you just want to take note that you will not have enough materials available to fully burst plus both weapons unless you have a ton of gems and you pull for burst dupes and you use the 400 G tokens multiple times to buy the miraculous books of destruction. But again, I highly do not recommend this. To me, it's a waste of materials, and generally, once you choose the burst plus weapon that you want to fully invest in, they're very powerful. And then, I know this is going to get asked a lot, but can you use burst weapon dupes to limit break a burst plus weapon? Just like with EX weapon dupes, you cannot do that. So if you do have some burst weapon dupes lying around, sell them for the burst tokens, so then that way later on, you could get a burst weapon of your choice for free. Alright guys, so hopefully this helps you guys prepare for burst plus weapons when this does come out to Global Opera Omnia. Again, this feature is currently upon the making of this video, not out yet, but for those of you that do play Global, you can use this as a reference, so then that way you guys will be prepared when this actually comes out to Global Opera Omnia. Thank you again for watching. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan signing out. Mahal everyone.